That voice, frozen in terror, is the heart of a mystery that has haunted Texas for over a decade. This is the story of Brandon Lawson. It begins with a simple argument and ends in a silence so deep we may never break it. It is August 8, 2013, just after midnight. Brandon Lawson, a 26-year-old father, has a small fight with his girlfriend at their home in San Angelo. He decides to leave to cool off. He gets in his white Ford Ranger truck. His plan is to drive to his dad's house. It's a trip he knows well. He has very little gas, but he goes anyway. This is the first decision that changes everything. Somewhere on the dark, empty stretch of Highway 277, near the town of Bronte, his truck runs out of fuel. He pulls over to the side of the road, but he does not stay with his vehicle. He gets out, and he walks away from the safety of his truck into the vast open Texas night. His phone is dying, and with the last of its battery, he dials 911. What follows is not a clear cry for help. It is the sound of pure panic. The operator answers, and Brandon is already breathless, his words crashing into each other. He says, "I'm in the middle of a field." He says, "I ran out of gas." Then his voice drops to a whisper. He says there's a state trooper who has pulled someone over. He says, "We're not talking to him." And then the words that chill the blood. "I totally ran into him." There's a pause, just the sound of his ragged breathing. He says, "There's one car here. A guy chased me into the woods. Please hurry." And then the most debated phrase. It sounds like he says, "stabbed," or "they're stabbing." The call crackles, his voice breaks up into static, and then nothing. The line goes dead. His phone dies. Brandon Lawson has just spoken his last words to the world. Now the story splits in two. On one side is Brandon's terrified reality, whatever it was. On the other side is the slow-moving world of the investigation. His girlfriend, worried, calls his brother Kyle. Kyle drives the route and finds Brandon's truck on the side of the road, hazards blinking. But Brandon is gone. Kyle calls 911 to report his brother missing. But the police who arrive see an abandoned truck. They think maybe the driver was drunk and wandered off. Maybe he'll come back. They do not know about Brandon's own frantic 911 call yet. That call went to a different county. So in those first, most critical hours, the search is not a search for a man in danger. It is treated as a minor incident, a disabled vehicle. This delay, this initial misunderstanding, may have changed everything. When the family finally discovers Brandon's own 911 call, the truth of his fear becomes clear. The search becomes serious. But it is too late. Teams with dogs and helicopters scour the brutal land around Bronte. It is a landscape of thorny mesquite, deep ravines, and old oil field equipment. It is easy to get lost forever in such a place. They find almost nothing. No clear sign of Brandon. He has vanished into the air. For years, the theories grew. The first theory is simple and sad. The elements. Brandon, scared and confused, got lost. He fell. He succumbed to the heat or the cold. The land simply swallowed him. It is possible Texas is full of lonely places where a person can disappear. The second theory lives in his 911 call. Was there really a trooper? Yes. Records show a Department of Public Safety officer was making a traffic stop about a mile away. Did Brandon see this and run toward it? Or did he see something else? He said, "We're not talking to him." Who is we? He said a man chased him. Did he stumble into a dangerous situation? Did he see a crime? The third theory is about his state of mind. Some reports suggested he may have been using drugs, which can cause severe paranoia. Could the entire chase, the threat of being stabbed, have been a hallucination? A trick of a mind in crisis? It is a difficult idea, but one the police had to consider. This is the great puzzle. The 911 call paints a picture of an active, violent event. But when Kyle arrived at the truck, he saw nothing. No struggle, no strange cars. The trooper nearby heard nothing. The scene was perfectly quiet. So what was real in that field? What was a trick of the shadows and fear? For 9 long years, his family waited in a terrible limbo. Then, in 2022, a search party found human remains in a rugged area not far from the highway. In early 2023, DNA confirmed it was Brandon. He had been there, in that lonely land the entire time. This discovery brought a form of closure, but it answered almost nothing. How did he get there? What happened? The official report could not say how he died. There was no clear evidence of an attack on his bones. So the terrifying word stabbed from the call, did it mean something else? Did he injure himself? Did he have a medical emergency? His fear making it worse? We are left with two undeniable facts. We have a recording of a man's final moments, his voice etched with a fear we can all feel. And we know he was found alone, in the wild, not far from his truck. The journey between those 2 points, the true story of his last hour, is a blank page. The case of Brandon Lawson is a chilling reminder. It reminds us how quickly a normal night can spiral into a mystery. It shows how a single, confusing 911 call can become a ghost that haunts a family for a decade. It tells us that sometimes, even when we find the answers we search for, the truth stays just out of reach, lost in the static of a dying phone call, somewhere on a dark Texas highway.